The question of how Anakin Skywalker became a Force ghost has been floating around since Revenge of the Sith, when fans found out it was a skill Jedi had to learn. Things got even more complicated in the Clone Wars, when we saw specific training Jedi had to undergo. So how was it that Anakin was able to retain his consciousness in the Force after spending decades as Darth Vader? The new story Brotherhood by Chen and Return of the Jedi from a Certain Point of View doesn't quite give us the answer, but does give us some new insight. First, let me point out that the From a Certain Point of View series isn't strictly canon. The short stories have always been in a bit of a gray area in that regard. I don't think future Star Wars stories will have to stick to what we're about to discuss, but I also think what we're about to discuss makes sense, and nothing is super set in stone right now anyway. Still, I just wanted to throw out that disclaimer. Okay, so first of all, as Anakin passed into the Force, he seemed to cling to his consciousness out of sheer will. Not for selfish reasons, not like the Sith, who will do anything just to survive and keep their power. Anakin wanted to atone. Like many spirits in ghost stories across history, he felt he had unfinished business in the form of so many acts of darkness that he wanted to undo. From there, things are still vague and unclear, but I get the sense that Obi-Wan sought out Anakin before his consciousness was fully one with the cosmic force. I think he gave Anakin an anchor of sorts so that he could hold on to his identity and personality. They spoke, and as they reunited, Anakin's Force ghost manifested. In the Clone Wars, we saw the training Yoda, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan had to undergo to achieve life after death. It involved facing the darkest versions of yourself and learning how to find peace in your inevitable passing. While Anakin didn't go to the wellspring of life like Qui-Gon or Yoda, he straight up became the darkest version of himself. And even though it took more than 20 years, he did eventually confront and defeat Darth Vader. And the story by Chen describes how he found peace not only in his death, but also in his life after death, as he finally learned to let go of his desire to control what cannot be controlled. I don't know if this will be a satisfying answer for Star Wars fans. I think it's worth discussing further, but the story did help me look at this question in a new way. Jedi often have to go through similar but not identical rituals and trials. We have seen what it looks like for younglings to get their first kyber crystals on Ilum by facing their fears, but we've also seen what that looks like off of Ilum when the Jedi Order was no more. Ezra has to face his own fears on Lothal and is rewarded with a kyber crystal of his own. It's still the Gathering, even if it's different. I don't think Obi-Wan went through the exact same training as Yoda did, traveling to the wellspring of life and all that, but I'm sure he went through something similar. And when you look at Darth Vader's death and Anakin's rebirth, I can see how his experiences follow a similar pattern. And then I think he had a little extra help from his old master, not to mention he has the whole Chosen One thing going for him, which is probably what helped him hold on to his consciousness in the cosmic force for a time. But that's the best answer we've seen so far. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. If you have a different interpretation of the story, also let me know that. I think there could be many ways to understand what happened. This is just my best guess. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on our socials, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.